What's up, everybody? This is Liquid Raven, and I'm here today to give you my first impressions of the Garden of the Witch event. I've played the game with the new event for several hours on the first day, and I'm going to just tell you my first impressions of the event. We're going to go through some of the patch notes, and then I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. And we will kind of skip through most of the bug fixes. I'll go through the bug fixes at the end, or I'll just like go through some of the more important bug fixes at the end, and then I'll tell you about how I feel about most of the bug fixes at the very end. And also, if you stay towards the end of the video, I can tell you a little bit about my plans on the website and sort of a little bit of future content on this channel. Okay, so first of all, Garden of the Witch event. So we're going to go through some of this stuff really quickly. First of all, the more important things about the event, one of the biggest things is the resupply locations. So these resupply locations, there's 3 spots that they appear on, and they're wagons now. So before they were carnival, the carnival tents, but now they're just like the normal wagon resupplies. And at first I thought there was, they can spawn anywhere, but they actually can't. There's only 3 locations, and I know this because I'm making a website, and I basically, every time I start a map, a mission, I take a screenshot of the map, and then I grab that and put it into Photoshop, which I can actually show you right now. Give me a second here. Hide that real quick. So this is Photoshop, and this is Mammoth's Gulch, and these spots here, these ones, the teal ones, are where they would spawn normally. So I have everything mapped out here. I have the beetle trees, I have wagons locations, and these 2 different wagon locations for Mammoth's Gulch. So the funny thing about this is on Mammoth's Gulch and Lost in Delta, they kind of spawn where other wagons do, but not on Stillwater. So Mammoth's Gulch, they spawn here, here, and here. And let's go ahead and get rid of this. This is this is Lost in Delta, and they spawn here, here, and here. And let's see with the wagon locations. So the pink dot is over them. So they spawned where normally the wagons spawn in Lost in Delta. But when we get down to Stillwater, this is where they spawn in Stillwater. You see these other dots? Those were where the carnival spawned. I just have those there from the last event, if you're wondering what those dots are. But these teal ones are the wagons from this event, and let's see the wagons. So on this map on Stillwater, they don't spawn where other wagons normally spawn. They're like, when I was going through the game at first, I was like, wait, these are kind of offset on Stillwater, and then some of them weren't, and then I was wondering if they spawned like wherever other wagons spawned. They just replaced it and put all the resupply stuff, all the special stuff in there, but they didn't. So there's only 3 locations on each map on where they can spawn, and that's basically it right there. Let's see. So let's go ahead and go back now that we covered that. Let's go back into the notes. So they just removed the weapons, the weapon crates, but they kept everything else, which is fine. I never really used weapon crates, and hardly anyone that I know used them. I've seen it used a couple times though, and they do come in use, like, every so often they come in handy. But most of the times not. A lot of times you enter the map with the weapon that you want, regardless. And if you run out of ammo, there's always a full ammo restoration, full ammo loadout, or all consumable, you know, resupply anyways, instead of getting a new weapon. And the traits, I want to talk about the traits as well. So the traits, that there's only three: the Blade Mancer, Corpseer, and Gun Runner. There's, I mean, nothing much to say about this other than there's only one in this specific location, and you have to go and look for the others. And it's always random. It's always going to be a random trait in one of these rare loot areas, and the other ones could be in towers, or they can be in other wagon areas. But you know, it's random. You won't always find Blade Mancer, or you won't always find Corpseer or Gun Runner. It will be random chance of one of these three, but one of these three will always be there. And let's see, for Shaboon experience. So the same stuff is there: the ammo, tools for all the boons, the pledge mark, and how the pledge marks work. So that's one thing I didn't like so much, that you can only have 6 pledge marks, total of 6 pledge marks. And in the previous event, the Post Malone event, it was 9, and they moved it down to 6. I feel like it's more balanced. Let's put it that way. I do feel like it's more balanced, because whenever I am killing another team, or our team has killed another team and we're looting, and I fill up in points really quickly. So I have like 6 pledge marks really quickly. But when I go to, you know, use up those pledge marks at the spawn, the wagon locations, I pretty much use all the 6 points and I have nothing extra. So and it feels like I kind of want a little bit more, but it feels balanced in a way. It feels like I'm never like, sometimes sometimes I do feel like I need more pledge marks after, even though I have 6. It feels like you know, I want to grab more stuff from the wagons. So every now and then I feel like I'm short when going to the wagons. So in that respect, that's one thing I don't like that they changed. The maximum of 6 instead of 9. It was 9 before. And you can get these a lot less. Like the way you get these are a lot less. Like I said, there's no clowns, there's no balloons, there's no pumpkins, or, you know, altars, or whatever it is. It's just killing enemies, specific enemies, and looting dead hunters, basically, and banishing bosses. That's basically how you get it. So there's a lot less ways for you to collect them, but at the same time, I don't feel like I collect them a lot. Like, I feel like I'm progressing through the event at the same pace as before, even though there was more options for you to get event points in the previous events. I feel like it's progressing the same the same way, because it just feels the same. Like, my progression through the event feels the same as other events. It doesn't feel like you know, I'm struggling to get these points. It does feel like I'm struggling sometimes, like if I'm down a pledge mark. I have to go and sort of farm enemies in order to grab more pledge marks. It does feel like sometimes I am farming. If I do want an extra pledge mark, I have to go out and kill more enemies and stuff like that, because there's no balloons around or stuff like that. Or, you know, once you kill all the hunters and once you banish all the buses, the only way to get you know, event points is to go around and kill, you know, NPCs. Just kill players, environment, kill, you know, grunts, or not grunts, hives, dogs, and emulators, and meatheads, and stuff like that. And then that feels like it's kind of grindy, because there's no balloons or you know, whatever it is, pumpkins and altars, or whatever it is. So it does feel kind of grindy once, you know, the server is kind of wiped and there's no other way to, you know, get these points. So it's kind of redundant in that way. So that's one thing I don't like about the event. Let's see what else. One of the good things actually is the let's go back up here, is these traits is that they're not exclusive anymore to a specific. You don't have to pledge to something and only get, like, you can, before you can only get Blademaster, and you can't get Blademaster and Corpse here, and you know, with, you can't match these up with anything else because you're pledged to something specific and you're following this path, and you can't like remove it and then get something else. You have to stick with it once you grab it. In this event, something that I really like is that you can get all these. You can get them all together. You can get 2 of them or all 3 of them, whatever it is. You can get them, you know, you can get them, and you don't have to worry about pledging to one specific trait and going one specific path. You can grab them all. And I thought that was pretty good. I like that. Let's see. Weapons. They added weapons. They added 3 new weapons. We're not going to go through any of this stuff because that's basically, they added 3 new weapons and 1 new ammo. This is it right here. So the 3 weapons is, this is the only one I really had time to play with because I didn't unlock the other ones. I've seen them, people use them, and I picked them up, but I didn't really use them. But I used this, the 1865 carbine silencer, quite a bit. This is actually a pretty good gun. I like the addition to it. Even though it's a silencer, you know, the last event we had so many silencers added to the roster of weapons that you know, adding another silencer, like, I guess. But they've changed the way silencers work as well. They all do like 10% less damage, which I agree with. I know a lot of people don't agree with that change because some of the guns on the lower spectrum, like all the medium and compact ammo, also get their damage reduced. But I believe that having a silenced weapon and being able to use a silenced weapon should reduce the damage of your bullet regardless of what it is. It shouldn't cause the same damage in the way I think about it, because that's how it was before. The bullets shot from a Winfield, silenced Winfield, would cause the same damage if you're, you know, using a silence or unsilenced. Same thing with the sparks. If you shot a sparks, if it was silenced or unsilenced, it would cause the same damage. And I didn't think that was right. I think all silenced weapons should cause less damage than, you know, than the normal weapon of variants. So I thought that was a good change. I know some people you know, some people think that, you know, some of the bottom end ones shouldn't do that because the only ones that were not balanced was the Krag, and I agree with that. But I think all of the silenced weapons should do less damage than the you know, the main weapon. So I didn't use these, and you know, what my thoughts are about these 2 Mosin Obras Sharp Eyes. They're 3-slot weapons. At first, before the event came out, I thought there were 2-slot weapons, but they're actually 3-slot weapons, and they're kind of put in like I'm comparing them to the actual Mosin. Why would you get these other than the Mosin? So if we're getting these or the Mosin, because they're both 3-slot weapons, these are inferior than the Mosins in pretty much every way. Damage and all of the, you know, stats of these guns are inferior in every way to the Mosin. The only thing is, like, I believe it's just pricing. It's just a better price. I haven't had a chance to play with these, and, you know, pricing doesn't matter to me. I probably would never really take these don't give anything extra, in my opinion. But I haven't had a chance to play with them, so I'll wait to give my full review on these until I've actually had a chance to play with these weapons and see what they're all about. Of course, they added the custom ammo for the gun that they just made silenced, and that's fine. They changed a lot of stats for a lot of the weapons to fit. Like, they slightly changed a lot of the stuff. Here's the silencer changes, of course, damage. I agree with this, that everything's you know, does less damage. That's great. Before we get into anything else, though, I want to just mention about the event. So I just want to tell you guys what I think about the event, my thoughts. So us having a new event brings a lot of stuff like we still have bugs. So like, you know, a new event of course is going to bring new bugs, especially hunt. We're just like, we're used to it. It comes. And I've heard a lot about the lighting bug. I haven't run into it myself, but a lot of people have, and I hear a lot about it. So people have issues with the lighting turning darker when they're in a match. I don't know what they're doing exactly. I think something a boss banishes or something, and they go into you know, this is so also how bugs kind of work. When you trigger, the way you trigger bugs is basically you're doing something at the same time that something else is happening. So I think this lighting bug happens whenever a boss is banished and you're going into your menu or something like that. I have no idea, but apparently this happens every now and then to a lot of people. I have never run into it so far. And I think there's a couple people that I've played with that run into bugs like the resolution's not matching the screen anymore, and they're having issues fixing it properly. They're having issues with going into the menu and changing stuff in the menu. I've actually had issues with going into the options menu in the game and changing stuff in the options menu, and it not keeping what you want it to do. Let's see, we already talked about how the event feels. It feels kind of empty, actually. Something I didn't really say. It does feel really empty because there's no balloons, there's no pumpkins, there's no snakes or whatever, there's no altars, there's no special AI or new boss or new environment or new map, whatever it is. So it does feel kind of empty. And they did say that this is going to be light on content. They said this event was going to be light on content because we're going to hunker down and fix a lot of you know, a lot of the bugs and fix a lot of the problems that we had with the game and make it better. And that's I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But the one thing that, you know, when them saying that, I kind of was hoping for the UI to change. I was really hoping for the UI to change and be changed. And they did change a little bit. They changed a little bit, but they didn't do a lot of what they said they were going to do. And of course that's going to come in the future. They didn't give a date. So they didn't give a date like, okay, this is going to be fixed and this is the date. So, and good, take your time, please, and make it good. But they did change some stuff in the UI, and I can go ahead and show you some of that stuff actually right now. So in the UI, what they changed, it was minor stuff, just nothing too big. I think they made the colors pop a little bit more, especially like going into the hunter screen. This was like super bright when I first got here, so they changed like they said they were going to change the backgrounds of these, and they did, to make them sort of pop a little bit more and make the color be on the corner. And the same thing for when you're on your weapon loadouts. They changed all this because before it was just like, it was like for this, it was all gold in the back and it wasn't just the corner, top left corner. So they changed the way this looks. So they just changed basically the looks, but not how everything works. And that's what I was looking for. I was looking for how them changing what they said they were going to change. Like one of the big ones was when you're actually putting a weapon loadout, this to be reworked, this whole menu to be reworked. I was looking forward to having this whole menu reworked, and they didn't do that. So a lot of the stuff that I was hoping for, they didn't do, but hopefully it's going to come later. Hopefully at the end of this event, it's going to come. That's my hopes, but this is something I was looking forward to, and it wasn't there. What else? My thoughts on the change silencers. Okay. So the traits, one thing that I liked as well about the traits, that no specific trait is OP. So before in the previous events, one specific trait is like OP and everyone pretty much chooses it all the time. And this one, I guess you can say that bring this up real quick. I guess you can say that the Where are they? That the gun runner. I think a lot of people think that that one's the most OP, but in my opinion, it's not really more OP than the others. They're just OP in different ways, but they do the sort of the same. I feel they do like contribute the same, depending on your play style. So that's the thing that I like about this event. So these don't feel, no specific one feels more OP than the other one. So for example, Blade Mancer, what does this do that is OP? It gives you infinite ammo. This basically gives you infinite ammo. Of course, they fixed it so it doesn't do the pullout damage and pretty much kill people, and that's great. That's one thing I love about the event as well, that they fixed this part about Blade Mancer. But this is OP because it gives you infinite ammo. Why is Corpse Seer OP? Corpse Seer is OP because if you kill somebody and loot them, you get wall hacks. So basically you get wall hacks with this trait. And so you get infinite ammo, you get wall hacks, or Gunrunner, you get extra firepower. You get extra firepower with Gunrunner, and you can mix and match different things. Like you can have dual explosive crossbows, or you can have a long ammo label, and you can have a rival, or a slate in the other one, 2 large slot guns. So I think they're all equally OP in my opinion, and I love these traits for being there. And on top of that, you can grab all 3 of them, and you don't have to grab a specific one and not be able to grab the other ones, which also kind of made it kind of weird. So now you can just grab them all if you wanted to. If you found them, and you can just grab them all. So that just sort of eliminates the, which one is more OP to grab. You can just grab them all regardless. Let's see. I guess we went through all that stuff. So how do I feel about the event in general? I kind of feel I wanted to say meh, but not really. I wanted to say meh, but not really. It's a good event. I like it. It is a good event regardless. It feels different from the normal hunt. It feels more different than normal. It's not normal hunt, but it is sort of like normal hunt. It's like it's not like outrageous like the last event. We had so much stuff, and this event we don't have that much stuff, but it's still nice. It's mild. That's what I want to say. It's like mild sauce. This event is mild sauce. It's not super hot sauce. It's not hot sauce. It's mild sauce. This event is mild sauce. That's where we're at. But it's still a good event. I like it, and of course I'm going through it, and it's fine. There's nothing too broken about it. There's stuff like they removed the revival, which I agree with in some aspect. Some people didn't care for the revival, and some people thought it was OP. I was in the side of I don't really care. I like it, but I don't care, and I don't think it's too OP. But in certain situations, it can be when you're constantly reviving your teammates. But I like that they're trying to fix it, and they removed it from the game, and I didn't think they needed to remove it personally. I feel like they could have kept it as maybe just a heal bolt and take out the revive aspect, because I think the broken part about that is rezzing instantly. That was the broken part of it. So using it on a teammate that was rezzed instantly, and there's nothing else that can res instantly. Whenever you go to a body, there's a timer where you res them. Whenever you use the dark side and necromancer, that takes time. But when you use a res bolt, that was instant. And I think that part of it was the broken part of it. And I know people will say, oh, maybe you should give it a timer. You shoot somebody and then there's a timer or something, or they struggle to get up and then they finally get up. Whatever it is, I think it would feel kind of weird if you shot somebody and they didn't get up immediately, or it took time for them to get up, or maybe there is a timer that nobody sees, or even if you put a timer there that somebody sees, they'll just get away from what hunt is, and you'll start adding like numbers to the game. It's just kind of stupid. But if you shoot somebody and then they take a while and then they get up, you don't know the timer or like why I shot somebody, why is nothing happening, did I miss him, do I have to shoot him again? You don't know. So of course you have to, you know, take this into consideration and think about why you're doing this, and does it feel right when you're doing it? And if it doesn't feel right, then it doesn't feel right, and you shouldn't add it. So I think they went through this in, you know, in the testing, and they decided, you know, they just needed to take it out and rework it on their end, and then they'll bring it back later. So I think they said they're reworking it, and they'll probably bring it back later. So we might see it, because I liked it. I like that res bolt, but I think they do need to rework it because it was OP having that instant res. Let's see what else. We're gonna go through some of these updates. So they changed a lot of the guns. Here we go. So they just changed a lot of the guns slightly, just very slightly. A lot of them, the spread of long ammo was changed slightly. There's a lot of variants. The Choconu was changed a lot as well. I like this change. They buffed the Choconu in one way, but the explosive bolts, they've nerfed the explosive bolts, so you get less explosive ammo, spare ammo. Improving, just they pretty much slightly improved a lot of the guns. Let's see some of the stuff that this, I wanted to talk about this. So hit registration. So they said they changed the hit validation. I actually haven't ran into this, but I know a teammate that has during the event. So I was playing with them, and they said that they ran into this, but I was like, I thought they fixed it in the patch notes, or they made it better. But apparently this is all about just, I don't know if it's lag or latency or whatever it is, but basically you guys are shooting at each other in a fight, and then when you shoot at somebody and you go into cover and you die behind cover, this is that sort of instance that I'm sure some of you guys ran into. So shooting at somebody and then going to cover, and then you basically, whoever you're shooting at shot you when you were out of cover, but when you went into cover, it killed you. And that's just the hit validation, and they apparently made that better. But somebody I was playing with said that they ran into this issue. So I never have yet during this patch, but someone else that I was playing with did. Let's see what else. Yeah, they changed Blade Mancer. So Blade Mancer no longer takes damage when you take out, and they reverted the taking, you know, arrows or whatever you stick in people out, and they put the damage back in there. So that's great. I like that they did this, because this was so satisfying to do, is pull out arrows when you were able to stick to somebody. But using Blade Master to do it was not as satisfying as running up to them and just pulling it out, which I love this mechanic. I loved it, and I love that it's back. Let's see what else. Reduce spawn chance. So they changed a lot of the spawn rates, stuff like that, how stuff spawns. They changed a lot of oh yeah, the hunters now start with 10 upgrade points. How do I feel about this? I like it, and I don't like it. I like it because you can choose whatever you want. I don't like it because sometimes there was stuff there that I was like, okay, let's try to make this work. Let's try to put a loadout to some of these traits. And I liked that aspect of it. So I liked it having random, and I was like, okay, let me build a loadout around these traits. But now I basically have to go in to a hunter and change the traits, which is, I think in the long run, this is better to do this, just to do this, to let people decide what they want. So in the long run, it's fine. It'd be nice if there was still a random, like if there was a button that you can push to randomize the 10 upgrade points. That would be awesome. I would love that if there was a random button to click on in the menu, and it randomizes your trade points to getting whatever, just something random. I would like that. That would be nice, because I still like the random aspect of it. So this just makes it so that you have to decide. So I wish there was something that just made it random and it did it for you, so I can build a loadout around those points. It's just something simple that would be nice, and it would sort of satisfy the people that liked the random loadouts that, or the random traits that people usually got. Let's say remove solo condition. Okay, so they changed Lightfoot. I think this is a great change, a really good change that they removed that. I've played solo before and after, and I love this trait. Don't get me wrong, I love using this trait with and being silent, moving silently, but it was OP. I felt it was really super OP, and I think it only affects really the higher tier solo players, not so much the lower tier. But you know, in that aspect, I did think it was OP regardless. Surefoot trait. So that's, I never really used this too much, but these two in combination were pretty strong. I never really cared too much about the crouch speed, other than having it with the Lightfoot trait, which made it really OP. Fast fingers added to these two guns, the Martini and the Maynard, which is great. I love that. Let's see, bolt thrower. I love this change. I love this change. I used the bomb lance on occasion, although I haven't used it on this update yet, but I love that they did this, and I'm gonna use this hopefully pretty soon, because I love that bomb lance is one of my favorite weapons. I love that they did this. This change to the bolt thrower. Okay, so I have had this. I played solo, and I do have conduit, and I do get double. This is nice. This is like a quality of life thing, but at the same time, yeah, this is nice. This is a quality of life thing. There's certain situations where you don't want this for conduit to do this. You don't want conduit to take 2 clues at certain times. If you're at a higher tier and you know how the map closes off, and you can predict where teams are going, you kind of want to be able to collect 1 clue at a time. But this does help in certain situations as well. Regardless, I think it's a buff. No matter what, I think it's a buff. And it's a good thing. There's very certain situations that it's not, that it's a bad thing. Only specific situations. Blast sense, I've been using this quite a bit. I like this change, that you can see the silence without, as long as it doesn't have subsonic ammo, you can see it, and I love this. I'm using this a lot more than before. Before I thought this was worthless. I never took it with me, but now that you can see silence weapons, I took it every now and then, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually liking this, because I can tell where people are freaking shooting at me with silencers from like so far away. I'm like, where is this freaking guy? I have to like, okay, so I have to move in the open just to get this guy to shoot at me a couple times, and hopefully he hits me, but he doesn't headshot me, and I'm like, oh my god, it's just a pain in the ass. But this, I love this. I'm liking this trait a lot more, that they changed this in that way. All this stuff, they increased or decreased a lot of it. So one of them was decreased or increased. Shadow Leap was increased. All the other ones were decreased. The timer to when you're in dark state, that it performs the action. Traits in water. I like this equipment stuff. The throwing axes, that they added 3 more. Here it is. They added 3 throwing axes. I love that. I've been taking the throwing axes, and I love this change. This is really nice. I love this. The throwing axe ones. Throwing spear, made stronger against swords, me heads. They changed okay, so I thought this was fixed before, and that it worked, and I guess they fixed it again. But now Constantine and Poison kill you if they're put together, which they did before. I like that they changed the bear traps, so I like this thing that there was only 2 bear traps will kill you in the past, but now you need 3 because the damage was decreased on how much damage you take from them. And hold on one second. So regardless, I like this change. I'm playing with the dog with a squeak toy. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but okay, so where was I? Bear trap. So I like this change because before you only had to take the bear traps to kill somebody. You only needed one one tool slot to be able to kill somebody, which before in the past it was 2. You need to take concertina mines and poison trip mines in order to kill somebody. But when you added the bear traps, you only need to take the bear traps and you can kill somebody. So that reduced the amount of equipment slots that you need to be able to kill somebody. So I'm glad that they changed this, and the reasoning for this I approve of. And that, you know, I feel that to be able to kill somebody with that, you need at least 2 slots, or, you know, use a lot of something in order to kill somebody, which I approve of this change. I like this change a lot. Reduce duration of stamina. Okay, all these shots. So I use these shots a lot. I use the stamina and I use regen a lot, and the reduction of time. What do I think about them? So I feel like I'm more cautious, like I always was. And I feel like I run out a lot more faster. Of course, you run out a lot faster with these shots. But I know for a lot of people, this is going to affect them a lot, because I know a lot of people, they take their shot, like they hear gunshots in the distance, they take their shot and then they go into it. For me, what I do is I wait until I'm hit. So I don't use the shot until I'm hit with a bullet, and then I'll use the regen. For the stamina, I use it when, you know, when I'm like completely depleted of stamina. I know people in the very beginning of the match, they'll stab themselves with a stamina shot right away off the bat. Personally, I'll wait until I'm like depleted of stamina, and then I'll use the shot, and then I'll have stamina. So it's all in how you use this, and this really doesn't affect me too much, but I do feel it that the timers have been reduced. But regardless, I like this change because it makes people think about using them instead of just using them willy-nilly whenever. And they really think about when is the best time to use this, because it's going to run out if I don't use it, you know, in a fight, or if I use this right away in the beginning of the match, I won't have it later on, sort of thing. So I like this change, and I don't feel like it's too much of a the timers is too much of a negative, but it's nice. It's nice. Maybe they can change like the pricing a little bit. I don't know. People's have an issue with it, they can change the pricing slightly, but regardless, I like this change to the timers. Let's see, 7 regen approved. Okay, explosives now. Okay, so I like this change. Explosives not explode on contact with burning stuff. So if you're a hunter that's burning, or something's burning on the floor, there's fire. There was a delay before, and I was like, you know, this is kind of stupid. Whenever I threw a grenade and it took some time to blow up after I threw it on fire, I was like, you know, this is kind of stupid before. And then now that it changes, I like this change. This change is so awesome. I love this. I love this change. Yeah. What else? Change prices of a lot of guns. One gun in particular, Haymaker. I know this. I take this a lot. This is one of my favorite guns as well to bring. And I know a lot of people actually that I played with looked at this and, oh, maybe I should bring this. But this is one of my favorite guns in general. I like the Haymaker a lot. They changed the pricing in a lot of the uppercut stuff because, you know, with the long ammo and it competing with the Obras. The new guns, of course, they didn't change the price for these because these are new guns. They have just the price. So they just they changed the uppercut prices and the Krag prices. And I think some of the Mosin, no, they didn't change the Mosin. So they rearranged the prices around the Mosin initial cost. Yeah. they rearranged all the prices of all the other long ammos, so the more controversial ones. So the Krag, they made it more expensive because of course it was slightly competing with the Mosin, and it was cheaper, I guess, in some respects. So I'm glad they bumped the price of that up. But it doesn't, for me, it doesn't affect me. Prestige 100, I have a bunch of money. It doesn't really affect me at all. But I know some people it does affect. Reduce this. I love this. This throwing spears was so freaking expensive. So freaking, they pretty much cut it in half the price of this, because I really thought it was like really necessary to cut it that much, because it just have one throwing spear, and it's throwing spears are nice to have, but just to have one and then you have to have, you know, a trait just to have two throwing spears, and they nerfed the shit out of the throwing spear on top of that, and it just didn't feel right to take it at all. So I'm glad they cut down the price. Uppercut variants. So the drop range, so they just changed the drop range of a lot of the weapons with special ammo, dum-dum, F&J. So nothing really too special. There's just slight changes by 5 meters. Just everything is pretty much changed by 5 meters. This is the only one that's changed more than 5 meters, the carbine with the subsonic ammo, but that's a new gun with the new ammo, and it's just it's not changed. I think it's just changed because we never really had it with the silencer variant of it. Let's see, drop range. The scarcity. So changing the scarcity of some of these guns. So the Maynard Dum-Dum is now scarce. The Crown King with slugs is now scarce. And these down here just follow from before. They're still scarce. The Dulce, the Centennial Dum-Dum, which is the one I used often, is the Centennial with Dum-Dum and the Officer with Dum-Dum. I didn't use these two with Dum-Dum much. Or I didn't use this with F&J much, but I know these two are still they're still scarce, and they added the Maynard and the Crown King, which is nice, because this was a little bit of a thing to bring in the Maynard with Dum-Dum, and it was pretty OP. Crown and King with slugs, hardly anyone takes this, but every now and then on the higher elos I do see this. Every now and then this will pop up every now and then. So these are back to normal. The Skullfield with Dum-Dum and conversion with Dum-Dum. I used this a lot before they nerfed it with the scarcity, and I started using, you know, before I used it a lot, then I started using what did I use? I used the packs with Dum-Dum when this was scarce, but now I came back to the conversion, and I'm like, it doesn't really matter too much which one I use with the Dum-Dum, the packs with the conversion, but I like the conversion a little bit more because it's a little bit cheaper, and it's just that. Skullfield, I didn't really use this with Dum-Dum. If I had dualies, I would use this with Dum-Dum, but otherwise I would never really use Skullfield with Dum-Dum. But I think it's nice. It's like using an officer with Dum-Dum. Traits. So the traits changing. I love Surefoot, and Surefoot was OP, and making this 6 points, I'm like, oh, it's 6 points, but it's good that it's 6 points because it was so OP. I think this is a good price to get this for trait points. I think it's a good price for trait points to get Surefoot. Surefoot it's pretty strong. Surefoot is really strong. Greyhound, I don't know why it was at 5. I'm glad it's at 2. It's kind of, I know a lot of people in Determination. There's so many people that take these two traits together. Determination has been 4 upgrade points for so long, and I never understood why. If you actually look at the trait and see what it does, and people were praising it. Everybody was praising grabbing these two and taking these two all the time. But I never understood why, because it was just because one stamina shot would just negate the effects of these two. Taking a stamina shot would negate these two traits. And on top of that, this doesn't make your stamina go up quicker. It does. Determination doesn't make your stamina replenish quicker. It just makes it the timer for the replenish to start is quicker. So instead of it taking, I forget exactly the timer, but I think normally it takes like 3 or 4 seconds for your stamina to start coming back. And with determination, instead of it taking 3 or 4 seconds, it takes like, you know, it doesn't even take a second off of it. I think it takes like two or 3/3 of a second off of that timer. So determination was, I don't know why people like that. So I'm glad it went to 1. It was one of the most useless traits in my opinion. It was one of the most, almost more useless than adrenaline. In certain situations, adrenaline is better than determination. Let's see. Let's move on. Bounty Clash. They added 2 new placement has been extraction locations. So they added 2 new maps. 2 new compounds, Arden, Parish, and Daryl. I've only had, I only was able to spawn at Arden. I love this one. I haven't spawned at Daryl yet, but I'm sure this one would be cool as well. Actually, I do think I might have done this one in Bounty Clash. I'm not positive. But let's see what else. So they changed a little bit about Bounty Clash. I don't play Bounty Clash so much, but I did play a little bit of it during the event when I was playing it. But I'm liking the changes to what they're doing to Bounty Clash. It's good, like removing the nighttime and stuff like that, which was a little bit earlier. And a lot of this, I like this. So the weekly challenges, I like that they made it random for everybody now, so it's not all the same. I know before I had an issue where, especially there was like everybody, the last event, when everybody had to take a Crown and King and get Crown and King damage, that was horrible. I hated that. In that respect, there was one of them where everybody had to take the bomb lance and do bomb lance damage, and that made everybody so easy to kill because everybody was taking a bomb lance, didn't know how to use a bomb lance. So I would just like pick a shotgun and then go in there, and I had free reign. But then everybody had the one where everybody had to bring a freaking auto 4 or auto 5 and get damage with that. That was like a nightmare. So I like it that it's more randomized. I didn't like that aspect that it wasn't randomized. That was just horrible when they had that. I don't know why they changed that to be the same for everybody. I'm glad they changed it back. Let's see. Starting equipment. Let's see. I just played around with this a little bit. This is nice. Audio updates. They clean up the audio for a lot of stuff. It's just clean up. It's just basically bug fixes. Boss targets. Nothing. It's just slight fixes and bugs bugs. The biggest things was the wild targets. This is the biggest change. That now I love this. I love this that they changed it. So the wild targets are now 100% chance if they don't have a sealed. If there's no sealed horde, if it's not the token is not sealed horde and it's not a split boss, it's 100% chance of being there. And I love this. So we see Raja more often. We see Hellborn more often, so I love that. That's great. I love this change. And the changes they changed it Raja to only have 1 bounty token and always dropping a scarce trait, which I love that too. They made them like Hellborn. They made her like Hellborn, basically. I like that. That's a good change. I was always thinking, well, instead of giving her 2 tokens, why don't you just have her drop a scarce trait instead and give her 1 token? That's fine. And they finally did that. Hellborn, no real changes. Hellborn, just a bunch of bug fixes for everything else. Basically, all bug fixes for everything. And then just bug fixes. I'm gonna swap spawns, Watchtower. So so at Watchtowers, so always there will be an ammo swap box at Watchtowers. and I like this change. This is a good change. What else? So a lot of these were bug fixes. I don't really want to talk because a lot of these were like specific skins, weapon bugs and stuff like that. Specific skins mostly, some UI stuff in here. One of the bigger ones is towards the bottom. Let's see, where the hell is it? Which I think they should revert is, where is it? Here it is. Fix an issue where players could ignite dead hunters by touching them while on fire. I don't think this was a bug. I like this. I thought this was a quality of change. I thought this was intentional, but then putting it as a bug and it wasn't intentional. I like this. I like this. I like the aspect of this, because it just gives that that whole hunt thing. Like you can light yourself on fire, and say you don't have a lantern. There's no lantern around. And there's no fire around, and you want to burn this body. What you can do is go and light yourself on fire somewhere. Like with, let's say there's a lantern on the wall, and there's an enemy hunter that you want to burn that's like away from that lantern. So what you can do is bust that lantern on the wall, light yourself on fire, run to that hunter, light that hunter on fire, and then you put yourself out. Of course, you're taking that time and you're taking damage from the fire. You're going to light a dead hunter. So that's, you know, you're using your brain ingenuity to light something else on fire. I like this, and they should keep this. You can even light your own teammates by accident, and that adds to the chaos of hunt. That's why I play hunt, for the chaos being so chaotic. And you can light your own teammates on fire by accident, and that's also fun. I think that's fun, and that is like, you can use this as something like to grief your teammates, but you just report them. But if you do this by accident, this adds to the chaos of fun, and I think they should really add this back. I like this a lot. I like this. I thought that was a feature that they added, but I guess it was a bug they thought. I think they should really add that back. Let's see. Everything else is just bug fixes, user. Yeah, so they talk about the UI. I really wish that they fixed a lot more of the UI other than changing some of the color schemes. And everything else is just, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I like the event. It is kind of meh, but it's mild sauce. It's, like I said, the event is really mild sauce. It's not hot sauce. It's not flaming hot sauce. It's mild sauce, but it's nice, and it feels more chill. And I'm loving it. I like the event. I do wish that they added some more stuff to it, but I understand why not, because they're fixing the game, and that's why I'm kind of upset that they didn't fix the UI, because that was the thing that I was hoping that they fix more than anything else. But I'm glad that they are fixing a lot of the bugs, that were there, and they changed a lot of stuff. They changed, like, I think poison looks and feels differently when being poisoned. And the fire, I noticed the fire change. Fire, you can see it. It's a bit different. They changed the animation of it or something, but it feels a lot different the way it looks. The fire and poison. I noticed some of the environment stuff as well. I don't know if it was there before, but I know, like, at some locations, like on fog maps, I see this cloud of fog and it looks so nice. I don't know if that was there before, but on Cypress huts, I spawned there once, and I looked at the fog over the water there, and I was like, oh man, this looks so nice. I don't know if they had that before, but some of the graphic stuff, I don't know if they updated some of it, or I just didn't notice it before. But it looks nice. Like I said, they did the fire change and the poison change, so I thought that maybe some of the environment stuff they changed as well, but it wasn't really mentioned here. What else? Some of the UI stuff, I hope they changed some of the UIs. One of the things I want to talk about is on the UI stuff, because they said no. Yeah, I just wish they changed a lot of this stuff, like this, especially this menu. It was kind of disappointing coming into this patch and not seeing this UI fixed. Like they said, they were gonna do it, but eventually it will come. They said they're gonna do it. I know they will come and do it. But I really, some of this stuff is kind of a pain to move around. Even now, even still, this could be a lot more user friendly. Going through a lot of these measures, it's just way too many menus. That's how far I am in the event, by the way. If you want to know how far I am, I only played this one day, the event one day, and I already got to 10. I didn't buy the pass. I did not buy the pass, and I won't buy the pass. So that's basically it. Thanks for watching. And okay, my website. Let's briefly touch on the website. Website's coming along. Still going to take several weeks. It's almost, a lot of it is done. I want them to fix several things on the weapon randomizer and the bloodline. There's several things on the bloodline. The randomizer needs a lot of help randomizing the correct things. Like right now, I think when you randomize, you get a katana and the katana has ammo for some reason. Stuff like that. And I need them to fix that. Let's see what else on content, future content I've been thinking about doing, because I do play, I want to get better at this. I want to get better at just coming out and talking about certain things, and just being better at making videos and talking in the videos. So something that I thought about is doing game reviews. So I do play other games when on the way to work, and from work to home. I'm on my Steam Deck and I play games, and I've completed a couple of games on my Steam Deck, just having half an hour, you know, a shuttle drive, half an hour to work and back from work. So, and also playing at work on my Steam Deck. I've completed several games and I want to write some reviews. And I think doing those reviews in sort of this kind of format, and telling you guys about those games, reviewing them, and giving you guys sort of like a score, like how I rate this game, sort of thing, would be kind of cool, and also help me, I think, be better at doing this kind of stuff, because I think I'm still small fry right now. I'm still mild sauce. I'm mild sauce right now. I want to be hot sauce. So hopefully I can be hot sauce in the future. I can be flaming hot sauce in the future, but right now I am a super mild sauce. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks, and have fun in the bayou. Hopefully I will see you there every Wednesday. I pretty much play all day, all Wednesday. So if you want to come watch on Twitch every Wednesday, I will be there pretty much all day. And thanks for watching, and look forward to my website, and I'll see you guys in the future. Take care, guys. Bye.